Hello, everyone, and please excuse the slight delay due to some technical issues, but we're here now. I'm very excited and we're delighted to see you guys and see so many people already in the call. Probably if we wait a couple of more minutes, some more will join. But yes, welcome to our webinar today on content collaboration at Covestro. It's really nice to have so many people interested in that topic of integrated communication, collaboration, and thank you a lot to Royce from Covestro, Marcus from Pantarhei, and Alexander from Scompler for being here today to really present this success story, this project that definitely was, as Royce said, a global company effort at scale. So I feel like it's just going to be very, very interesting for our attendees today to get insights, learn from your best practices, find out more about your project and all of the work that you put in. But obviously, the three of you, you're here for your companies as well, because this was a huge team effort and many people that put a lot of work in making this collaboration project happen. So quickly to introduce who I'm joined by today. Royce Zhang, Senior Campaign Manager at Covestro and also project lead of the COCO project, which stands for Content Collaboration, but you will elaborate on that, Royce, in a few minutes, what content collaboration actually means at Covestro and why that became such a priority for you. I'm also joined by Markus Kirchschlager, Managing Director Tech and Communications Platforms at our dear partner Pantarhei Advisors. This is the first webinar we're doing together, and so we're very excited to have you, Marcus, and just to have you on board, because this project and the success factors at Covestro was a huge team effort in us working together also. So great to have you, Marcus. And last but not least, my colleague Alexander Wolf, Senior Customer Manager at Scompler, who is responsible for our onboardings as well. So we might have a couple of customers already, Scompler users, that might have been onboarded by Sasha in the past. And Sasha also onboarded Covestro within their work at Scompler. So this is how the circle closes itself and why we're very, very happy to have the three of you here today. So before we dive into the agenda, a quick introduction of myself. My name is Alina Lackerbauer. I'm Senior Content Marketing Manager at Scompler, and very happy to be the host today. So for those of you who have already been to Scompler webinars or webinars in general, we really like to make this an interactive session. So please use the Q&A section, the chat functions, and just letting us know what kind of questions you have. This is a very hands-on webinar, and Royce, Marcus, and Alexander will share a lot of information and just different learnings from this project. But it's always more fun to have it in a very interactive way and answering your questions at the end or during the presentation also. So in getting to know everyone better, we also included one survey that you might see now on the right side of this webinar platform, because we obviously want to know who you guys are. What field do you specialize in? Do we have many corporate communicators here? Do we have marketers here? Do we have communicators specializing on PR and media relations here? So yes, let us know which field you're from. And I think that will help us, the three of us, the four of us, to kind of get to know you and find out what field you're from. And I already see, do you guys see the live development of the survey as well, Marcus, Sasha, and Royce? We see a lot of people from marketing already. Very nice. Yes, so we see a couple of people joining from marketing, but also external communications, a few from PR and media relations and internal communications. But yeah, it seems like marketing is winning within this audience today, which is very, very cool to see. So welcome everybody. And this fits perfectly because our webinar will exactly point that out, the collaboration between marketing and communication, what these two disciplines have in common, how they work together, and how Covestro managed to do that. So what we want to focus on today is why content collaboration became a strategic priority at Covestro, a company-wide effort at scale, as I already said, what Royce and her team worked on, and why they also chose Scompler, or why they chose a central platform in managing their content collaboration, and the importance of change communications, where I'm really happy that Marcus is with us today to tell us more about his work and Pantarhei's work within this big project at Covestro. Also, we want to wrap it up with key achievements and best practices, and then answer all of your questions. And yeah, hope to make this a very informative webinar for everyone that's joining. One thing that we're very interested in finding out before we start as well, you will see in the next survey, how would you describe the current state of collaboration between communication disciplines in your organization? Because when we were planning this webinar and kind of tried to focus on specific points, we were like, it's going to be very interesting to find out how actually the audience is collaborating at the moment. If you still work pretty siloed, so communication and marketing work separately with minimal alignment. But we see right now in the live survey that this is not the case. We have many people that are partially integrated, which is a good sign, I'd say, right? Royce, would you agree? This is a good sign, right?
It's amazing.
Okay, so most of you say that you already have shared topics, joint processes, same tools, and some common planning, which I feel like that's a good way to start and maybe find out more on where Covestro actually started, what your challenges were in the beginning, and where you are now in really a fully integrated way of working. So thank you everyone for interacting. And now I'd say we're all very excited to hear more about this specific project. Royce, handing it over to you to tell us more about content collaboration at Covestro. But before that, we might need a quick introduction of who we are. Scompler, probably many of you have already been in our webinars, but now handing it over to Sasha for a quick introduction of Scompler, who we are, what we do, and then handing it over to Marcus as well to introduce Pantarhei.
Thank you, Alina. Just a few short words. We are the strategic communication management platform. And obviously, communication is also meant marketing communications. So good luck for the marketing boys and girls here. We really are heading forward to integrate all your communications effort in your company. If it's just your department or department-wise coverage throughout your company or throughout your holding structure even. We have big customers, blue chip companies who are planning their communication activities throughout the whole company with our tool. So really a central platform, and I think Royce will explain that, how this is happening in Covestro.
So hello also from my side. I'm super happy to be here also with the group and the team. It was an exciting project, and I'm super happy to also present best practices that we learned as a management consultancy. So who are we and how do we work as Pantarhei advisors? We blend what we learn at our global best practices with our customers, where we work for both stock-listed companies as well as Mittelstand, and also for public organizations like local Stadtwerke that have the same challenges in communications and marketing. We blend that with academic research, so data we get from, for example, the Quadriga University, where we did a benchmark study on which platforms are available for content management, but also industry data. So we are the consulting partner of the BDCom in Germany, and we use foresight trends to extrapolate how will technology change the way we work and how do we need to adapt our organizations to be able to cover these trends. Next slide, Alina. So from that, we developed what we call the target operating model. And I want to show this here because it was the starting point when we started working with Covestro on this project. We said, never only look at technology isolated. You have to look at the bigger picture and try to identify which levers you have to cover to be able to then use technology as it can be used. So just a quick overview. We usually start with designing the service portfolio. What do we want to be able to achieve with our organization? Go then into the organizational design, designing which processes, but also which roles do we need, which tools and platforms are necessary. Then we look at the skills. Do we already have the skills to leverage the platform? Do we have the interfaces and networks ready in the broader organization? A strategy and planning process, analytics, and also a continuous learning process. And then, very important, that's why it's also at the top of our model, team and culture. So the core message I want to send here is never only look at technology isolatedly. How do we work? So we combine methods and skills. We usually assist our customers in process support, in the project management, but also in, for example, designing the formats that are necessary for bringing the change into the organization, as we will hear later on what we did for Covestro. Combine it with skills that we built over the past years in communications, comtech, AI literacy, or organizational development. Next slide, Alina. And we do that, and now that comes to how we also worked at Covestro. We do that in very strong collaboration with the platform providers. So in this case, Scompler, but also, for example, if we do projects in internal communications, employee experience, with customer teams from communications, marketing, HR, and IT. From our side, it's usually a very small team. So in this case, we had Dr. Birgit Koch leading our team for change and organizational development, supported by one colleague who did change communications and project management, our AI assistant, Fred. And from my side, I provided access to our best practice network and some know-how on how the technology develops. So with this, I hand over to Royce for your introduction.
Okay, thank you, Marcus. So for those who does not know Covestro yet, Covestro is a leading high-quality polymer material manufacturer. So you do not see our brand or our material, our product every day, but actually it's in your everyday life. Yeah, later on in the next slide, I will introduce you. So some facts and figures. We have about 14 billion sales last year, and we have about 17,000 employees around the world. And our CEO is Marcus Salem. Welcome to follow him on LinkedIn. So next slide, please. Where we are, where is our product? Actually, it's everywhere. Yeah, just imagine you're sitting in your car. The plastic components in the car, the battery pack is made from our material. Or in construction industry, in the house, in insulation, the window, in the composite material are from us. Or wooden furniture, you sit in the sofa, you are lying on the mattress, it's also from our material. Your mobile phone, your laptop house, or your shoes, your clothes with coating, that's all made from our basic materials. Next slide. We have a very ambitious vision. We want to make the world a brighter place, and by preserving the environment, advance society, and creating value at the same time. Next. And we say circular economy enables the climate neutral future, and we want to be fully circular. As you can see, our material and our stories you need to tell so that people realize, that's Covestro, that's where you are. Therefore, content marketing is really very, very important for us. So today I'm very excited to introduce you how we make the next level of communication at Covestro. Next slide. Why COCO? Yeah, Alina already said. COCO stands for content collaboration. Why we are doing that, why we focus on it? Very simple. We want to be customer centric because we know our customers does not really care about how you organize internally. How is your process? Yeah, how siloed or how integrated you are. They want to care what solutions you provided to me in a very, very concise, in a very simple way that I can understand in a very short amount of time. So in the war of attention, COCO turns alignment into competitive advantage. That's what we believe. Next. Next slide, please. So we are still seeing the COCO slides. Marcus, do you see the next slide already?
I still see the former slide, actually.
I think Alina is frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, things seems we lost a moderator. Let me check if I can help.
Perfect.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I was gone.
No problem. Just like in our project, yeah, there are so many ups and downs and challenges, unexpected issues. And that's why I think being here and share our experience of COCO with you will not only creating value internally for us in Covestro, but also share our experience with external friends and partners. That's what we want to do. So what you can see is join after 1 month go live that we come together, the core team having a review workshop to see what happened in the last months and what are our feelings, what we achieved together. And you see, very emotional. There are many happy faces, also heavy lifting, but in the end, like a rocket, we achieved so many things together. So that's a very nice journey. Next slide. In COCO project, we have 4 very ambitious goals. First of all, we want to find the best tools which suiting for Covestro, suiting for our vision, our strategy, our company. Second, we want to get all users fully onboarded. That's our learning. Our previous tools, we learned that if you only halfway onboard our internal employees, it will never achieve the transparency and that we want to achieve. Third, we want to get as many as tools integrated into this platform so that we reduce copy and paste to the maximum because we are creators. We want to have our emotional stories created. We do not want to do copy paste every day. Fourth is actually the result from the previous 3 goals. We just want to list it here so that we do not forget any element that we want to achieve. Next. Maybe Alina is again frozen. Let's wait a little bit. Be patient. Fully users onboarded is really essential. We used to have only marketing people working, marketing colleagues working within a tool, but the whole communication colleagues are in another tool. So this makes the whole process broken, and it's very hard to onboard them again if you do not onboard in the first moment. So now you're looking at a very busy slide. I insist on putting this slide to share with you because I think my point, our pain point, might echo with your pain point. Maybe the big giant companies all share the same challenges. So we have 5 challenges in this project. First of all, in our content lifecycle, in the initiation and planning phase, we are lacking one common tool, one common platform for all of us, all users, all content creators to brainstorm and initiate project together so that it's transparent for everybody. You do not have to copy paste from the planning tool to the creation tool, and it's available for everybody. So that's one first challenge we want to solve. Second one, maybe you also having the similar issue. We create many content. When it comes to publishing, is another great effort. Yeah, ideally, we dream of a platform that we can directly create and publishing content with one button, with one click. And third of all, approval process. You can never include really everybody into the same platform. So your customer won't join your content marketing platform, or your management might not use the platform every day. So therefore, the approval process with non-licensed users is also very important, the user experience. And fourth, every day we are using more and more easy to use tools, and those tools become more intuitive and they understand our behavior, they guess our behavior. So the tool that we are choosing should be really and has the best user experience that we want to have. Last but not least, we initiated this project 2 years ago. And that's the moment when ChatGPT was just launched. And we want to stay in front and we want to be ready for the future. So AI function has to be integrated already in the platform. So that's the 5 challenges beginning of the project we want to tackle. And I want to say that in Coco, we tackle them all. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yes. This slide, thanks my boss Maren, that you create a new version so that we get rid of all the short abbreviation internally. And this is really reflects how complex our internal organization is in terms of onboarding all users. On the very left side, you see the business entities and group functions, who is actually initiation and creating the stories, or the innovation stories, or the ideas and production stories are coming from. And we also have more than 30 marketing communication colleagues are sitting together with them. And in the middle, you have communication team, who is the gatekeeping for our press, for our corporate channels, writing our corporate messages, having branding campaigns, and our marketing channel management colleagues. And we also, not only from business and also our communication, also have our regional teams. And not to mention those channels you are very familiar with. You are all marketing and communication profis. And all the channels, every channel has a different character and process. And on the right side, you still have your HR colleagues, you have IT, legal approval, also agencies. We have 40% of our users are agencies who is on a daily basis working with us, supporting the whole process, make it happen. So in all, we have 250 users, more than 20 teams who is sitting in different region and area, does not share a very common management reporting line, 3 regions, it's really truly global team. So to sum it up, we have very ambitious 4 goals. We have very challenging 5 challenges and very complicated internal setup. However, next slide. Together with our colleagues and our users, we really achieved great success. So it's not one team, it's not one person, it's really all of the users carry along the way with us, with Pantarhei, with Scompler. We did the onboarding step by step. So now let me introduce you how did we make it. So let's move to slide 20. Yes. As you remember, the first goal, and its most important one, is choose the right tool for Covestro. Everybody has its own agenda in your mind. If I'm a social media manager, I'm really looking at the social media process. If I'm keen on Marcom, I'm probably more focused on website process. So we want to include everybody's voice. We want to include also a very big strategic overview. That's why we have this setup. We have IT colleagues. We have the operational IT technical expert, content lead for every process, and also very important from strategic point of view, my boss and also 2 global process owner, so that they are aware of whatever in the past 2 years, future 2 years, whatever project might happening, so that we do not waste our capacity internally, have a very holistic overview of our company to make the right decision. Of course, there's steering committee, which is all the team leads, and we have our expert. If we need to have a second, third round of pitch, we want the expert to participate and look into the very detailed functionality of the tool. And we also did the customer interview. If we believe 1 or 2 tools are the best fit, we really talk to the user and the current customer with them to really make the best choice. And I think this group together, we make really a good decision.
Maybe to ask one question that just came to mind, and I would like to hear your opinion on it, Royce, but also Markus and Alexander, because I find that very, very impressive to what you just said, to try to tackle all these different needs within communication and marketing departments and finding like a very holistic solution where at the end everyone should be happy with, or at least that's the goal, that everyone is happy with. Maybe even Markus, from your consultation experience, like what challenges do many big companies have when it comes to actually finding an approach that works for everyone, and what would be your recommendation, maybe even based on what Covestro did also?
Royce, should I go first or? Okay. So what I will also say later is participation is key, right? So try to get on board as many of the stakeholders you need in the later phase for the change as early as possible, and also put the user in the center, right? So what we try to do when we design these processes is to have the user experience, as Royce said before, in the center, because that is key to the success if you think it through till the end. So we try to put the user in the center and then design the use cases accordingly to their needs, and thereby ensure participation.
Thank you very much, Markus. Maybe Royce, you want to add something from your point of view within this project? What was like your secret to make it work? Because I feel like it just looks like a very difficult challenge to try to incorporate so many different stakeholders.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with Markus. I think it's the balance between how much the tool could offer us and how much our internal need. So you cannot really depend on the tool to make your internal, let's say, chaos, aligned all at once. But on the other hand, you want to be very focused what you want to achieve as a company, what your strategy is, and let the tool adapt to you. So I think we find the balance together with all the stakeholders.
Thank you very much. And Alexander, you probably know that very well from your work with our customers, that I really agree with what Royce just said. You cannot expect just one tool or one part of technology to take care of all of the internal needs and chaos you might have, but you should see it as a support system, right? Is that also the experience that you have with our customers and your projects also?
The tool is always just the part of the solution, yeah. There are so many things to add to the tool. So this was really crucial in the Covestro project as well.
Great. Thank you very much, guys. Handing over to you, Royce, again, to lead us again through your presentation.
Yes, thank you. We choose together Scompler, and that was not many discussion. Yeah? So we are very highly aligned internally that Scompler is our best fit. So from a functionality point of view, it really fit into our process. And very important, Scompler are really emphasizing the topic-oriented communication. And that's what we need. That's what we want to achieve when we talk about customer centricity. Yeah, when you really select carefully the strategic topic internally, what you want to communicate to the customer, and internally you're aligned that every activity contribute to strategic topic, then the message becomes very clear and our customer will get the best benefit. So I think Scompler really fit into that purpose. Next slide. I think, yeah.
The project was very big, as Royce already told us. So there were some success factors from the Scompler side. One was really that we dived into the project with full coverage. We did not only bring our communication experts into the project, but also the product management and the developers who took care of some special developments and additions to Scompler as well for this complex project. We navigated with the help of Pantarhei through these really complex structure with numerous stakeholders, and it was really a good experience to have Pantarhei at our side and to really join the team together to manage this overall, and the change management really was crucial. And this was really very contributing to the project. I think what also were the success factor was that we got rid of some other tools where we implemented functionality inside of Scompler. Yeah, and that also leads to the customer satisfaction, because not really bugging them with many tools in parallel, but really concentrating on one tool and elaborating the user experience for those customers. That was really great. And last but not least, Covestro's commitment was really, really great. With a lot of huge workload besides the project, they really managed to assign resources to the project, and that was really crucial, and really a big thank you to Royce and the team for this investment with really high load besides the project. That was really fantastic.
Thank you, Sasha. I can only agree with you. Really, yeah, I have to thank to my boss, Maren Kremer, that she has the experience and also the strategic overview, how big the scope the project could be, and already assigned the correct capacity, for example, the change management partner, Pantarhei, and also the management attention to our project. So it was very clear from the beginning of project, our head of communication announcing everywhere that Scompler COCO project will be the star project. Everybody, please support it. Whenever there's a town hall meeting, this project is already mentioned. So the enough top-down support is definitely part of the success. So when we talk about project time phase 2, it's very challenging, yeah, with all the support as well. And we have, like Sasha said, everybody of us have our daily work. And on top of it, we want to do the project. So we have a core team of 4 to 5. Yeah, so all the content managers who is very in operational world, knows exactly what each process should look like, and our IT colleague who is dealing with all the API, data lake topics that I'm not very familiar with. And the steering committee is supporting us. On the right side, we have our COCO connectors, yeah, slowly onboarded to spread our information, especially in the regions, to lead them through the change process. And so we finally onboarded the users. Next slide. So this is a slide I insist on really sharing with you, because before these slides come up, I, as a project manager, am very, very uncertain, because none of us in our company did a migration from one content platform to another. And this is such a big scale, very complex project. I want to know exactly when happened what, and do we have enough time? And we're talking about a very hard deadline of having the previous platform contract end in 6 months. So within 6 months, everybody have to onboard it. We have no way back. So things has to go right. And until this time plan is there, I'm very relieved. So thanks to Pantarhei and Scompler come up with this timeline together. So everybody has a very good blueprint to go ahead. If you look at this chart, on the top, you have the different phases. We have a setup phase to really set the system up in Scompler. And we have some workshops to have the minimal variable version ready to be tested. And then with this version, we talk in a pilot and testing phase with each process As you can imagine, social media process, press release process, website, campaigns. Yeah, we go through with them in the tool to see what workflow they need, what role they need. Yeah, how can we do things different so that it's improve compared to the past. And then we prepare the training in the rollout phase. And afterwards, we launch the platform, and we're having the hypercare phase with the Q&A sessions. And then you have the exact task of the core team. When do we report to the steering team in a very regular phase? What is the IT big project in the green buttons? And when is the expert kick in with their deep dive sessions? And when do we onboard the COCO connectors? Yeah, by the way, again, COCO connectors are our multipliers and super users of the new platform. And very important, when do we do the change communication? As you can see, a lot of change communication happening along the way. I was told that before you put an idea into somebody else's head, you need to repeat 7 times. Before, I was not believing it. After this project, I think it's even more than 7 times. And really, all those kind of change communication helps a lot along the way, taking the people's hands and gradually onboard them step by step. And then Scompler provided very good support along the way. So I would recommend every one of you who is willing to do such a project integration, the first step is really draw a very rough timeline and try together with your stakeholders, gradually make it detailed. And next slide. Here is what we support users with our onboarding. Yeah, a list of content. Not only one training, but we have change communication. We have our people like COCO connectors to be there and waiting for answering the questions of them. We have weekly Q&A session after the first version is ready, so that people are coming to us, having the live conversation with us, asking where they think is stupid question, but actually everyone else has the similar question. And it's very happy to see that people who join the Q&A session are getting less and less because the questions are getting less. And that's when you really feel the change are taking place. And we have a SharePoint. Yeah, our intern own this project, setting the whole SharePoint up with the whole website with all the information, videos, training materials uploaded there. And Pantarhei help us with a COCO playbook. It's a full set of presentation, have all the most important strategic concepts and slides in, explaining the full picture of what COCO is. And we have a Q&A knowledge base. Next slide.
We have a technical issue here. I will take over again. Sorry for that.
No problem. I see some pop-up that there are some questions asked. Do we answer it right now, or do we put it in the end of the session?
I think we can answer them at the end of the session. That would be better because they belong to something earlier.
Yes. Yes, COCO ways of working. We do not call us Scompler internally. We call it's a way of working because it's more than a tool. It's how we in Covestro would like to work towards the future of communication. And it's included everybody and almost every process that a content creator is doing. Next slide. Next slide, please.
I think this is changing quite
slowly. Yeah, no problem.
That's crazy now. Sorry, Royce.
Oh, good. On the left side, you see our 7 COCO ways of working. We integrate all the different departments and silos, or let's say process, into these 7 ways of working. Yeah, we're not talking about people. We're not talking about teams. It's really the way of working. And on the right side is the different topics. Every color stands for a strategic topic. We're still working on it. We try to make it even shorter and even focused so that our customer understand us even better. But that's a more longer term process. Next. Here is showing how we integrate the Scompler function into our content marketing lifecycle. Yeah, from listen and plan until track and analysis, Scompler support in almost every workflow that we're working on. Yeah, just to mention a few. For example, in monitor and engage on the fourth phase, we have the community management in Scompler. Yeah, directly reply the followers' comment and information. And we have also the real-time social media data monitoring within Scompler. We, of course, have our own reporting structure in Tableau, but here is also another very convenient tool. And also the integration with data lake enables you in the future a lot of possibility using data to make the right decision. Next slide. Yes. Here I just want to share a few examples how detailed Pantarhei support us with change communication. So they are really drafting precisely the information of what we want to communicate in which time and in which kind of manner in Teams to our users, yeah, to slowly onboard them. If you see the first information, the second, we use the similar timeline, but really with more detailed information when they are ready to receive more information. So, yeah.
Thank you very much, Royce. And now before handing over to Marcus, I feel like it might be a good way to start with the question that Martina put in the Q&A section. I'm sure you will answer that in your presentation, in your answer also. But Martina asked, how important would you consider the change management and the strategic decisions for the implementation of a content tool? And I feel like Royce has given us a couple of insights from your perspective, from customer perspective. But Marcus, yeah, what's your approach to that when working with your customers on change management?
Well, thanks to Martina for the excellent question and also the transition now to our change management part, because it describes perfectly where we see the most crucial point in change management nowadays, namely that participation is key. And participation, we usually start coming from the user needs. So putting, as I said before, the user needs at the center to ensure long-term success, but also design the change management so that leadership has to participate, because then you make it a cultural habit to use the new platform and also incorporate the new way of working. So the first point I want to emphasize, if we talk about best practices for change management when you change platforms or introduce tools, is that a platform change or a tool introduction is a change in working methods. So if you take it seriously, and that is what we suggest, also seeing a lot of projects that failed before, you need to change processes, you need to change roles and also routines. It's not only an IT project, it's not only buying a few licenses, but it is a change in the working methods. The second success factor that we usually use is develop a shared vision and benefits from the user's perspective. So to make sure that they have, Alina, maybe you can mute yourself. Yeah, perfect. So that they have benefit to ensure that they also want to use the platform long-term or the new ways of working. We then co-create new ways of working where we design the usage and collaboration together with the user groups rather than putting a concept top down. So again, participation is key here. Also, what we love to experiment with is design a good onboarding and also up and reskilling process using a combination of playbooks, videos, ambassador programs, and training courses to, on the one hand, get started, but also promote acceptance. Very crucial, and that comes back to Martina's question also, is to actively involve leadership, because then if also the broader teams see that leadership is engaged, and we saw that at Covestro, where we had on the one hand, Royce, who drove it with a lot of energy and incredible also people skills. But then we also had the leadership team, Maren and Sven, who were really pushing and supporting when it was necessary. So that team effort really made it fly. And then what we tried to also assist as a sparring partner from the side is to make expectation management realistic. So not promise there is this German saying of the eierlegende Wollmilchsau, not promise that from the beginning, but rather give a realistic expectation management on what can we achieve, what do we want to achieve, and how can we gradually get there, and thereby also taking the stakeholders on a realistic path with us and not losing them on the way. So my key message here, participation is the game changer, and that was also the success factor at Covestro.
Thank you, Markus, for your nice summary. Absolutely, absolutely. So if we now go to the next slide, to summarize, in the COCO project, we have some key achievements. So we really go live, deliver successfully as planned. Yeah, we didn't miss the contract that end, and we have migrated from the previous platform 500 projects into the new platform, and we onboarded 211 users, and we onboarded also the COCO connectors. Very importantly, there are previous tools like social media tool, content marketing tool, and planning tool, and different process, and we all integrated into the COCO ways of working. And the project's on time and on budget. Yeah, we all know how difficult is that within current timelines. And we also contribute to our company strategic initiative. And there is also a SharePoint training material. And within 6 months, yeah, below, you can see within 6 months after go live, we have already published more than 2,500 articles, and 400 campaigns, let's say stories, are running, and 40 different kinds of calendar views are using worldwide within COCO, and about 10%, yeah, is using AI already.
Thank you very much, Royce. I feel like that's very, very impressive key achievements, and just seeing these numbers, like 40 different calendar views globally, 400 stories, that's amazing. And because you just showed also the picture of your COCO topic architecture, I feel like it might be a good situation now for Antje's question, because Antje's question, I feel like, is very interesting for your side, but also maybe Alexander can add also from Scompler onboarding side. What do you think about the topics option in Scompler and their impact for your performance analysis? Do they help you, or do users just copy their post and tend to use the same topics all the time? I find that a very interesting question. Maybe Royce first and then Alexander?
Yes, this is really a very good question. I can only share with you our process. Yeah, in the beginning, when we have the first workshop with Scompler, this was exactly the difficult part. Yeah, the discussion just break down because we are definitely not ready for topic-oriented communication at that stage. And Scompler tried to tell us, hey, you really have to now define the topics. But we say, hey, we have this and that, and these are folders, and we have to put everything into folders. So at that time, our mindset is really only folder, maybe a little bit topic when we have already some mature topic. And after the go live, and after people using it for 6 months, and we realize we should have invested 3 months in advance to do that instead of doing it right now. But you can never predict that, because only when the whole team is mature enough to say, I want to talk to my customer with these 5 topics, then you can do the organizational change. And I think, yes, it's very important. You have to also take the people with you and do the topic-oriented communication at the right time. So depends on how you want to manage internally. I would say very important topic to focus on the topics, design the topics strategically with your top management level to see if you can really concentrate on several topics, and also take the users with you in slowly to make sure the proper timing is there to really implement the topic-oriented communication.
Big hearts go out to you, Royce. Thank you for being so open to that. I can remember the talks we had about the topic architecture. And I must say that it really is a change, yeah, and you need to adopt to it. But it's also a game changer in analytics, yeah. If you can focus on the right topics, align along your strategy, then you have the power to really elaborate your content analytics, not just on post level or on project level or something like that, but you can really contribute to the strategic topics you have inside the company. And this really gains a lot of insights for you to develop your activities, your content activities, a lot more on the strategic focus. So I believe, and I see this in other customers' project, that this is really the effort worth it. Yeah, you need to change. You need to take your colleagues with you, but what you gain with it is really huge.
Yes. Next slide will be the perfect supporting for this message as well, Alina. So I'm sharing this best practice. Now we have automotive solution, for example, as a topic within our company, and all of our content creators have to put their project, or let's say story or campaign, under this topic. And within 6 months, you see a very, very nice line, very nice collection of all the activities within the automotive segment, what's going on. What is our automotive customers are reading from us. And that creates transparency, yeah, breaking silos, and also provides the material for your possible synergy as a next step. Yeah, can we integrate those projects into 3 bigger projects? Yeah, can we have different, key messages out of those campaigns instead of reaching customer in different angle and more frequent than is necessary? So that's really also one of the first finding that we have. And next slide. For internal project, for example, we are celebrating 10th birthday this year within Covestro. And when you have a global, such an internal project, you have many content pieces, yeah? Our Thailand colleagues are dancing, Indian colleagues are singing, right? But you in Scompler are seeing those kind of assets all together within one topic. And when it comes to reporting, like Sasha just said, you just report this topic or this story in Scompler within the same topic. I have a few slides just to quickly go through. I think time is limited. Here is one more example that how we integrated our current process into Scompler. That's after go live. Yeah, we thought it might be possible that Scompler could help us to integrate the campaign ID process, the UTM generating and tracking into Scompler, but we're not sure within before go live. And after go live, and I think last week we successfully launched this process, and we get rid of one more tool internally, and this process are happening right now also in Scompler. Next slide. Yes, this is also showing a little bit how the UTM generate look like in Scompler. And last but not least, next step, we are not talking about a tool, we are talking about ways of working. And with that, we would like to build a COCO community that is including all content creators. Like you remember the internal organizational slide previously with 250 users with different teams. We want to break those silos. We want to include everybody into the same team. So we talk about our way of working in one team, trying to improve our way of working together with our agencies and to really break the organizational silos and focus on what we can provide to our customers. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Royce, but also to Marcus and Sasha, of course, for just sharing so many insights from the project. You can tell that it was a lot of work, that many people were involved. And I really liked what you said in the beginning, Royce, when you said that this COCO project within Covestro has gained so much awareness within the company, and so many stakeholders were involved, but also it was important for you to position it as a very successful project and gain awareness for marketing, for corporate communication, for integrated communication. And I do feel like often that's something that's still lacking in the industry, to really confidently position yourself as a communication and marketing department, and show people within your company, but also outside of your company, that's why it's great that you shared this here today, to just talk about these project successes and share your learnings. So thank you very much. One question that has come in from Sabine, and I know that you talked about it briefly, Royce, when you kind of explained your project structure and your team structure. You said you have a content lead for communication, a content lead Marcom, and a content lead social media also. So Sabine asked, have you identified responsibility for content within the project? Who is the content lead for content that can fit equally well into marketing channels and communication channels? So what is your best practice? Is that basically what lies within the different content leads, or how much does the team also come into force when finding out how to position the content?
Yes, great question, Sabina. Yeah, and that's really a very important decision to make. Choose who to work with you in the core team. So when we choose person, every content lead are really truly responsible for more than one process. Yeah, they have to more or less familiar with more process, so that we within the core team do not forget any process around within the users. Yeah, within the 7 ways of working, like I mentioned. So social media, community management, internal comms. So one of the content leads are responsible. Press, one of the content leads are responsible. Marcom brand campaign, I myself is participating. Mailing, trade fair are our Marcom content lead. Website solution center, corporate. This is what you mentioned is between Marcom and Com. And there we have one content lead is from Marcom, but she has to have myself also stays very close contact with our corporate com colleague to specifically say, hey, here you're not in the core team, but this process let's finalize together. So integrate most process into the core team. If there's something left, have separate sessions to make sure things are really discussed.
Alina, maybe one more thought on what you said before, how these projects are a chance for communications and marketing. What we see also looking at different sectors and then also different units within companies is that communications and marketing still has a huge chance in digitizing, automizing, and then also leveraging AI, because other areas like finance, operations did a lot more in the past years in that area. And there is now like a window of opportunity also to show the ROI that these initiatives have, and also the impact that you have in leveraging platforms, and also what we discussed before, then adapting ways of working so that you can really use platforms like we did here with Scompler.
I agree. Thank you, Marcus, for adding that, and thank you, Roy, because I feel like this just shows that there is still a long way to go in gaining that awareness and positioning communication and marketing really as like a very important part of the corporate strategy also, and really empowering this global communication and really global collaboration, such as in the case of Covestro. Thank you very much for sharing. Please feel free to connect on LinkedIn, to get in contact with us via the website. Wrapping it up with what Marcus just said regarding to AI, a small disclaimer for our next webinar, because we will be ready to launch Scompler AI on December 10th. So everything, if you want to find out what's behind Scompler AI, how we really think of AI as a strategic enabler within the projects, and really encourage communication and marketing leaders to use AI as a strategic team player rather than just an output generator. That's something that we want to talk about in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much for all of you participating. Excuse my technical issues. I hope to find out afterwards what the problem was. But yeah, that can happen, unfortunately. You will all get the recording. We will share it with everyone who attended, but also who just registered and couldn't make it today. I think that's going to be very interesting to even look at some slides a bit longer to really grasp the complexity of the project and what the three of you talked about. So thank you very, very much, and have a great day, and see you very soon.
Thanks a
Thank you.
lot.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.